Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I will give you a tutorial about how to create a context analysis and a risk opportunity assessment for an ISO 45001 system. So I will guide you step by step in creating a simple context analysis and risk opportunity assessment. And if you follow this tutorial and you customize these documents according to the specifics of your company, you will 100% pass the audit on this topic. So let's start. For the context analysis, we will start from the interested parties. For the interested parties, we just have to read the ISO 45001 standard to see what is required. So for us, what really matters is what is written here on chapter 4.2. It says that we need to determine all the interested parties that are relevant to the occupational health and safety management system of our company. And then on Annex 4.2, we have actually a list of possible interested parties, which is very, very useful to start. So what we can do now is to create an Excel file and just write on this Excel file our assessment. So here we have a possible start to create our context analysis. So you see here 3 columns. One is interested party, one is description, and one is a question. Is it relevant for the occupational health and safety of our company? So what we can do is just start from a simple example that I created to have an idea of what you can do to customize and create your own context analysis. So here you have a list of all the possible interested parties, which are workers, trade unions, owners, suppliers, clients, competitors. And for each of them, you have here a simple description. For example, for workers, I put the description of how many workers this company has, how people work in production, and how many people work in offices. And also I put the figure of how many people work as external contractors. And then here you have also a final column that says if it is relevant for the occupational health and safety of our company. And for workers, you have here a description. Yes, it is relevant because the behavior of employees is directly linked to the safety conditions of the whole company. For other interested parties, I put a different description. So for example, for suppliers, I put a description that says that, okay, we have local suppliers for this region. We have also non-local suppliers. But also in our evaluation, we can state that the way they manage occupational health and safety is not relevant for the way we manage our occupational health and safety. So now for the context analysis, the next step is to create the list of our internal and external issues. As before, we will open the standard and we will see what is stated in the relevant chapter. In this case, the chapter is chapter 4.1. Here you see a caption, and then exactly as before, it is also very useful what is stated in the annex of the standard, in Annex 4.1. In Annex 4.1, we have some examples of possible external and internal issues. So now we will pick our Excel file and start again to create a simple example of how to create a list of external and internal issues. So, just like with the interested parties. Here you have an Excel worksheet with different columns. One column is the issue. You have just to put a title. Then internal of external. Here you have just to answer to this simple question. Then a description, and then a final statement if it is relevant or not for the occupational health and safety of the company. So here you see an example of how this could be done, and exactly as before, this is a generic example. So it's up to you to find a way to customize this document for your needs. Now that you have a context analysis, we can go to the next topic, which is risk opportunities assessment. Exactly like before, we will start from what the standard says about this topic. Exactly, this is managed in chapter 6.1.1 that says that we have to assess our risks and opportunities and make proper evaluations. So exactly like before, we will open. So exactly like before, we will open our Excel file. And here in our Excel file, you can see that we have different columns. One is risk or opportunity. We have to put just the title. So exactly like before, we have different columns. The one is just a statement if it is a risk or an opportunity. Then here a description. Then here we have to put a link with interested parties or with the internal or external issues that we found in the previous steps. So then we have to make a statement regarding the impact of the risk. So how big it is if it happens, or in case of an opportunity, how good it is if it happens. Then we have to make a statement regarding the probability. So how likely it is to happen on a scale from 1 to 10. And then we have to multiply the impact and the probability to have the final risk or opportunity level. And finally, we have to state a note about how the risk or opportunity is managed. As before, here you see an example of how this risk opportunity assessment can be made. So in risks or opportunities, you have here some examples like risks of employees not properly trained, or risks of external workers not following the occupational health and safety rules of our company. But also, and this is quite important, you have also to write a couple of opportunities. So here, for example, for this risk, you have also an opportunity, which is the opportunity that external workers can bring some positive influx on your company. Also, you can see here how the final risk level is useful for us to decide what needs our attention most. So in this case, we need to prioritize the actions to follow this risk. Now you reach the final part of this tutorial. You learn how to do a context analysis, you learned how to do a risk opportunity assessment, and this is something as written here to be done once. So this is the basis of your evaluations. But then every year you have to keep this document alive. So you have to meet all the managers and ask them if what is written in your assessment and in your analysis is still correct. If there is any need to update, and likely every year there is some small details that change, then you will need to update the context analysis and the risk opportunity assessments accordingly. Okay, so thank you for following this tutorial. In case you want to receive the Excel to use it as your own template, just write me an email and you will receive the file. Thank you.